Brenda, wine glass in hand, tent flaps whisper softly. She gazes into the misty forest, the scent of pine and damp earth heavy in the air. Narrator, VO. Brenda yearned for something wild, a taste of the wilderness. A large, furry shadow flickers behind a Douglas fir, barely visible through the dense fog, hinting at unseen mysteries. In the heart of the Pacific Northwest, Darryl, the Sasquatch, towers, his gentle eyes unexpectedly tender. He presents Brenda with a severed elk head, a gesture of profound, albeit unusual, affection. Brenda's face lights up with delight, a surprising acceptance of Darryl's strange gift. Darryl, a gentle giant. Brenda, equally surprising, accepts Darryl's unusual gift with genuine delight. Darryl, immense and out of place, perches uncomfortably on the delicate beige sofa, dwarfing the suburban decor. The challenges of bringing a Bigfoot into a suburban home, the narrator observes, a hint of wry amusement in their tone. A Roomba, oblivious, trundles across the pristine carpet, a mechanical intruder in Darryl's bewildered world. The small machine collides with Darryl's massive foot, a comical clash of nature and technology. Sparks fly as the Roomba malfunctions, its circuits overwhelmed by the encounter, leaving Darryl looking even more lost. A faded wedding photo rests on a weathered picnic table, telling a silent story of promises made. Brenda, radiant in white, stands beside Darryl, his unease palpable in an ill-fitting tuxedo. The unremarkable backyard, bordered by a chain-link fence, hints at the simplicity of their dreams. Narrator, VO. It was a private ceremony, and a secret that was already starting to show. The ultrasound monitor flickers, revealing the silhouette of a fetus, its form strangely obscured by thick fur. Sideburns, thick and unnatural, frame the tiny head on the monitor, defying every expectation of prenatal development. The doctor's eyes widen in disbelief, their face paling as they stare at the unbelievable image before them. A wave of terror washes over the doctor's face, their professional composure shattering in the face of the impossible. Narrator, VO. This pregnancy defies all scientific understanding. Narrator, VO. The fetus's development is unusual, to say the least. Under the cloak of night, Darryl eyes a gleaming Toyota Prius parked in a neatly lined suburban driveway. He raises his leg, ready to defy the pristine order of manicured lawns and symmetrical hedges. Narrator, VO. Darryl never quite grasped the nuances of suburban living. The quiet street holds its breath as Darryl prepares to mark his territory. Narrator, VO. The OA rules, the perfectly symmetrical hedges. It was all a bit much for him. A silent act of rebellion against the unspoken rules of suburban conformity. Inside the bustling beef jerky factory, Darryl stands with an askew hairnet and stained apron. Instead of packing, Darryl shovels handfuls of beef jerky into his mouth, a guilty pleasure taking over. An angry manager storms over, face contorted in fury, pointing a condemning finger towards the exit. Darryl sighs, a trail of crumbs clinging to his mustache like fallen soldiers. Narrator, VO. And so ended Darryl's valiant yet predictably short-lived attempt to hold down a job. Narrator, VO. And provide for his family. Amidst the chaos of a messy living room, Brenda confronts Darryl, waving a bill like a flag of war. Darryl, unfazed, methodically packs moss and rocks into a knapsack, a silent rebellion brewing. Brenda's voice rises, each word a sharp arrow aimed at Darryl's retreating figure. The knapsack bulges with nature's bounty, a stark contrast to the sterile bills in Brenda's hand. Darryl pauses, a flicker of defiance in his eyes before he resumes his packing. Details the breakup and Darryl's retreat, a voice echoes, painting a portrait of a love turned sour. Brenda sits on a floral couch, her posture stiff with barely contained rage. The phone is clenched tightly to her ear. Her brow furrows deeper, a storm gathering behind her eyes. Each breath is a struggle against the rising tide of fury. Her lips are a thin, hard line, a silent testament to the boiling point she has reached. Narrator, VO. Brenda had reached her limit. There was only one thing left to do. Narrator, VO. Call the Gary Springer Show. Gary strides onto the trashy TV set, a confident smile plastered on his face as the audience erupts in applause. The screen blazes with the show's title, My Ex is a Mythical Beast. Gary gestures grandly, his voice booming. Welcome back to My Ex is a Mythical Beast. Today, we have Brenda, who claims her ex-husband is none other than Bigfoot, he announces, eyes gleaming. Brenda sits rigidly under the harsh TV studio lights, her face a mask of weary anger. Studio lights glare, reflecting off Brenda's tightly wound hair, highlighting her inner turmoil. Brenda's voice cuts through the air, fueled by resentment. He's a hairy deadbeat. Her anger intensifies, Brenda's voice rising. And he's denying paternity. Darryl awkwardly makes his way onto the garish stage of the trashy TV studio, his entrance marked by an immediate boo. He ducks clumsily under the doorway, a stark contrast to the polished set around him. The cheap, ill-fitting suit emphasizes his discomfort, highlighting his out-of-place presence. The audience's boos grow louder, a wave of derision washing over Darryl as he shuffles forward. His face flushes with a mix of embarrassment and defiance, bracing himself against the hostile reception. Above the jeers, a single voice pierces through the noise. Darryl! Echoes in the chaotic studio. In the trashy TV studio, Darryl fidgets uncomfortably in a creaky chair, his unease palpable. Gary's voice cuts through the awkward silence. Darryl, let's talk about child support. Darryl shifts, a defensive edge to his voice. I am not the father of Timmy. Tension fills the small studio as the paternity denial hangs heavy in the air. Under harsh fluorescent lights, a grainy photo of Timmy clutching a trout is displayed on a large screen. Darryl crosses his arms, pointedly looking away, a picture of discomfort under the studio lights. Gary leans forward, eyes wide with excitement, fixated on the fuzzy image of young Timmy. Look at the resemblance! It's uncanny! He looks just like a baby Bigfoot, Gary exclaims, captivated. Under the harsh red glare of studio lights, Gary clutches a worn envelope, his knuckles white with anticipation. Opposite him, Darryl's forehead glistens with nervous sweat, his eyes wide with fear. The air crackles with tension, each heartbeat amplified, echoing through the trashy studio. Gary's voice cuts through the silence, a declaration hanging heavy in the air. Darryl is the father! Darryl flinches, the revelation hitting him like a physical blow under the unforgiving lights. The envelope trembles in Gary's grip, the truth sealed within its worn edges finally revealed. Brenda's fist pumps a victory dance on the trashy TV set. Darryl throws his head back, howling at the harsh studio lights. "I agree to pay child support, but only in pine cones," Darryl declares. Brenda's sharp retort cuts through the air. "No way!" Darryl disappears into the fake plastic plants. Gary looks at the camera, giving a PSA about taking care of your kids.